Hello and welcome to the Prosperous Empath podcast, designed especially for empaths and highly sensitive entrepreneurs just like you who are committed to having it all and achieving holistic success. I'm your host, Catherine Wood, Master Certified Coach, mom, author, mastermind leader, and founder of Unbounded Potential, a boutique coaching firm for empathpreneurs. I'm on a mission to bring empathy back into the world of business. Each episode will focus on achieving more by doing less and revealing how you too get to have it all in your life, your leadership, and your legacy. If you are committed to doing good and running a conscious business, but truly giving yourself permission to have it all while doing so, proving that you can have both in a society that tells you you can't and you are in the right place. Join me here every other week to find out how. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review so you won't miss an episode. Plus, you'll find all the show notes and helpful resources over at unbounded-potential.com. Hello. Welcome back to the Prosperous Empath. Kat here. I've been reflecting a lot over the past week on how challenging it is to be a human being right now, given the state of the world, given the state of the political climate, given the emotional angst and grief and pain and fear that's so pervasive right now. It is so challenging to be ourselves, to be embodied, to embrace our own emotional interiors. And for us empaths who over-index on feeling, that much more difficult. And I do believe that one of the most radical acts we can take right now is to embrace our own humanity, to embrace being a human being rather than a human doing. We are highly skilled at being productive and performing and thriving and being ambitious and doing more. And I have it that right now, what's even more required is to protect our open-heartedness. One of my former clients emailed me this week to let me know that she was appreciating my podcast, that it was supporting her in these times, and particularly as she's about to lose her job in the federal government at the end of next month and become one of the tens of thousands who are being let go. And I noticed I felt such anger, such anger and fury on her behalf. In her email, she forwarded me a newsletter that she thought that I would appreciate. And I did appreciate it, so much so that I want to share some of the words with you today as we begin today's episode, because I think that the dangers of a calcified heart are what feel the most alive for me right now, what feel super present in conversations I've been having with clients and with myself. These words come from Daniel Hunter, the founder of Choose Democracy, and the newsletter is Action Network, which is an open platform empowering individuals and groups to organize for progressive causes and encourage responsible activism. Here's what he says. Something every single person fighting authoritarians told us: protect your psychology, let your heart stay soft. Their aim is to wear you down. Everyone talked about the overwhelming, all-consuming nature of living under an authoritarian regime, how an authoritarian attempts to occupy all spaces and times. In response, some of us feel we have to react to everything and burn out, or others try to tune it all out and shut down. Nearly every person we interviewed talked about the danger of a calcified heart that can't be open to the shifting terrain and to previous opponents when they are ready to turn towards us. Starting this week, I noticed I have been seeking permission from friends to take care of myself and find a better rhythm amidst it all. Today, I want to give that permission to each other and ourselves to honor our grief at all the horror we're seeing and enact behaviors for sustained activism. The behaviors each of us needs to take will be different because our needs are different, but we live in a dominant culture where being human is under attack. So it's against the grain to feel the feelings of sadness, rage, pain, the inability to stop bad things. If these words resonate with you as they do so profoundly for me, I want to leave you with some thoughts to consider as you embrace going against the grain and protecting your own humanity by starting with protecting your own open-heartedness. Here is some of the raw, unfiltered truth that I believe empaths need to hear right now. One, you are not responsible for fixing everything and everyone. The world is super chaotic right now, and pain is everywhere. It is pervasive. You are not meant to carry it all. In fact, you can't. Your compassion is a gift. It is not a burden, and you need to learn how to protect your own energy and be self-compassionate with yourself so that you can extend that compassion to others and your community around you. Two, boundaries are your lifeline, not a luxury. If you do not protect your energy, you will burn out. Something I have appreciated in almost every guest episode I have had on the Prosperous Empath over the past 2 years is that time and time again, one of the lessons learned in becoming a prosperous empath is in learning how to protect your energy. And oftentimes that was on the heels of really coming to terms with your own burnout experience. Stop over-giving, over-listening, and over-functioning for others at your own expense. As Adam Grant says, become a other-ish giver rather than a selfless one. 3, it is okay to say no. You do not have to explain, justify, or feel guilty. If something drains you, walk away. Learn how to say no to others while including others and yourself in the conversation. One of the most powerful practices for me in learning how to say no has been to include my feelings in the conversation, sharing my no while also being responsible for the impact that I sense it may have on other people. Number 4, we cannot be everything for everyone. Learn to answer the question, what's enough? Consider what's enough for today, what's enough for keeping up what's happening in the news, what's enough for your charitable donations and your charitable givings, what's enough for how much emotional labor we extend outward, what is enough for our fundamental need to help, support, and be productive. If you're committed to sustained activism and breaking the cords of toxic productivity and internalized capitalism, you must learn to answer this question of what's enough for yourself and act on what answers you glean. This is a radical act of self-love. Number 5, your peace is not selfish. The world needs more grounded, whole, and centered people. The world does not need more martyrs. Taking care of yourself is an act of service. The degree to which you care for yourself is the degree to which you will be able to care for others and for the world around you from a resourced place. Number 6, hold the tensions. We live in a world of polarity and tensions, perhaps now more than ever. Your heart can be breaking right now, and you can also be in deep love with your family, your life, your home, your art making. This one really hits home for me right now because I noticed that becoming a mom has become the most joy fueling acts of my entire life. My son is my greatest gift, my greatest teacher, and he has brought endless happiness and joy to my husband and my life. And it is really challenging to protect that joy and that love and that deep contentment alongside my heart breaking for what is happening to colleagues and the environment and the country that I love so deeply. We get to feel all of it. Number 7, not everyone deserves your emotional labor. Some people thrive on chaos and will use your empathy to fuel their own dysfunction. Step back, let them deal with their own mess. Empaths love to give, love to be needed. Learn to navigate the relationships and the problems that are worthy of your time and energy and commitment and love. Number 8, joy is rebellion. In a world that's drowning in negativity and anger, your joy, laughter, and light are acts of defiance. Do not dim yourself to match the world's suffering. Simultaneously, don't spiritually bypass it either. You get to feel all of it. Ugh. Number 9, the world will always be loud. You must create your own quiet. Turn off the noise, news, social media, toxic conversations. Protect your mind and protect your space. In Catherine May's book, Wintering, she talks about this idea that wintering is a time to practice doing nothing, slowing down, and letting the world recede. We must learn to invite the winter in. We may never choose to winter, but we can choose how. The things I do during my wintering are simply the things that sent me on a gentler path. If you're tuning in the New England area, you have experienced a winter like we haven't experienced in decades here in New England. And learning how to slow down and practice letting the world recede around me while I protect my peace has been such a gift. And it has allowed me to respond with so much more intention and purpose as I come into this spring season. Number 10, you are powerful. Your ability to feel deeply, it is not a weakness. It is your superpower, but a superpower unprotected can destroy us. Learn how to use it wisely. Number 11, perhaps one of the most radical acts of resistance that we can take right now is extending the gift of our full presence to ourselves, others, and the world around us. Amanda Blake says that the quality of your presence is the transformative agent. For those of us who identify as empaths, we often work in the field of healing and helping industries where the quality of our presence is the transformative agent. It is the source of healing and transformation and growth and possibility. I truly believe that learning how to protect your presence and extend the gift of your full presence to yourself and others is one of the most important places you can begin. Number 12, lovelessness is a boon to consumerism, and fear strengthens the world of predatory advisoring. If you are a first-time mom, then you absolutely know what predatory advisoring does to your algorithms. Anytime I go online, I notice the newest gadget I'm being sold in terms of supporting my 6-month-old to sleep or to introduce solids into his diet. We must learn how to invest our money intentionally and purposefully. I said it on our last episode, and I will share it with you again today, that in these times, I believe that now we as empathic entrepreneurs and leaders must be committed to thriving rather than surviving. I hope you can take some deep breaths in listening to these words. You have got this. I want to leave you with some words that are such healing words for me. These come from the book All About Love by Bell Hooks. She says, I awakened from my trance state and was stunned to find the world I was living in, the world of the present, was no longer a world open to love. And I noticed that all around me I heard testimony that lovelessness had become the order of the day. I feel our nations turning away from love as intensely as I felt love's abandonment in my girlhood. Turning away, we risk moving into a wilderness of spirit so intense we may never find our way home again. I write of love to bear witness both to the danger in this movement and to call for a return to love. Redeemed and restored, love returns us to the promise of everlasting life. When we love, we can let our hearts speak. If you're struggling with your own calcified heart, I hope that you can find your own way home again, because I truly believe that when we love, we can let our hearts speak. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next time. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Prosperous Empath Podcast with me, your host, Catherine Wood. Make sure you subscribe and leave a review so you don't miss an episode, and so more empathpreneurs just like you and me can find the show. You can find all the show notes and resources shared over at unbounded-potential.com. And if you're looking for more community and conversation like the ones we have here, join us in the Unbounded community at unboundedmastermind.com, a unique space for empathpreneurs committed to doing good as we grow, give and get support, and most importantly, come together.